And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. This is found in John chapter 8 and verse 32. So what it's saying here is anything that makes you feel trapped or restricted or bounded in any kind of way is false by definition, because the truth shall set you free. Whatever is true to you, all you got to do is find out what is true. If you feel stuck in any kind of way, this is the problem. You are not living up to the truth that you can fully live for yourself. You're not living to your fullest potential. We all have a version of truth that we want to live for ourselves. We want to create our own reality, and we want to live in a place where we can feel free, where nothing is stopping us. And that one thing that is stopping us is our old self, our old ideas, whatever we believe about the world to be real or true. If we think something bad is true about ourselves, this is always going to stop us. This is always going to be our adversary in reaching the truth. On this channel, I help you overcome your past limiting beliefs and ideas so that you can get into the reality that you want for yourself and create the reality that you want. I do this by applying ancient stories, myths, and allegories to yourself on a very individual level. We have heard of this Bible verse sometime in our life maybe, and if you haven't heard it, we've heard a version of it. The truth shall set you free. So usually this is just implying that if you believe in Jesus Christ, then this is going to set you free in some kind of way. But that doesn't always happen, because you can proclaim that and you can still feel trapped, you can still feel stuck, you can still feel miserable, and you can still be in the hole that you've always been in. You're just kind of bandaging your emotional pain and your anguish with this idea of Jesus Christ. What's more important is to understand what it's actually saying mystically, esoterically, so that we can apply this to ourselves. Anything that makes us feel trapped is false for us, because this is something that we do not want to accept within ourselves. Now, in the Hermetic principles, the fourth law is the law of polarity. This tells us that all truths are half-truths. The law of polarity simply explains how good and evil can exist at the same time, or something true and false can exist at the same time. It's all on the same line. Good and evil exist at the same time. So in order to consolidate this paradox, it's just important to understand that everything must exist in this way. So when it comes to understanding the truth for ourselves, we must understand that we can only understand truth up until a certain point. And this is on the grand scheme of things. As individuals, we have to accept what should be true for ourselves when it comes to manifesting our reality. And finding that truth within ourselves and manifesting something in our life requires us to be honest. Truth is synonymous with honesty. So if we are not honest with ourselves, we cannot get there. It becomes very difficult. We cannot continue to lie to ourselves and tell ourselves we don't want this certain thing to happen, or we allow old ideas to get in the way of what we truly want for ourselves. We have to face ourselves and be completely honest with what we want. A lot of what gets in the way of manifesting our reality is all of the old ideas we carry, all the old beliefs. When we want to move forward, all of those things will continue to hold us back. Your past ideas and beliefs can be something that you believe that is false about yourself. And what I mean by false is something that is making you feel trapped and making you feel stuck. Because all truths are but half-truths. If you believe anything about yourself, then it's going to be true to you, but by definition, it is something that is making you feel stuck, therefore it is false, because the truth shall always set you free. And there is a perfect story to illustrate this point. The story is called The Snake Rope. This is an ancient story from India, and it just describes how an idea of something that is not real can actually affect your whole entire life. One day there was a man walking in the woods at night, and in his path he saw what he noticed was a snake along his path. Now this man was very afraid of snakes, so he was frozen in fear and he just stayed there and he just walked backwards. So the next day the man wakes up and he goes along the path again and then realizes that the snake was never even a snake to begin with. It was just a rope coiled up that looked like a snake. So in reality, it wasn't even the thing that he feared, it was just the idea of that thing which halted his path. And in our life, we have many things like this, many things that actually do not harm us and cannot harm us in any kind of way, that are just ideas and are just beliefs that can prevent us from continuing going along the path. Now, the darkness in this story represents our ignorance of not being fully aware of what is in front of us. The man was only able to recognize the rope as being a rope in the daytime because he was able to see. That just represents consciousness. That represents seeing things for what they really are. And in this case, it was just a rope. When you see things for what they truly are, then you will be set free because you will not be halted in your path anymore. For you to be free is to just recognize what truth is, and that is the ability to walk forwards. Anything that keeps you stuck is simply false. It is simply deception. In Christianity, the greatest deceiver is Satan. He is the god of this world, and he is the author of any kind of deception. Now, when we look at this word deceive, it is very similar to receive. Now, they are separated by one letter. Receive comes from the root word to take something in. And now when you are deceived, you are taking something in as well. But you are simply taking in a false image. You're taking something that is contrary to what you want for yourself. You are being deceived, and this is what Satan is doing to you symbolically. Anything that gets in the way of your freedom, anything that gets in the way of your goals, your aspiration, is considered Satan or the adversary, something opposing what you want for yourself. Your manifestation itself is the Savior. It is saving you from being stuck in ignorance. This is Jesus Christ. He is the sun. He represents the sunlight in the story, the thing that helps you see consciousness. And the Antichrist is simply that thing that gets in the way. So Christ is your Savior, what you want for yourself, what you want in your life. And then by definition, the Antichrist is that thing that gets in the way. Whether this is an old idea, an old belief, anything that can get in the way of your manifestation is the devil. And this is how those two exist. Jesus Christ exists and the devil exists. This is good and evil, and they're all on the same line. Again, this is explained by the fourth Hermetic principle, the law of polarity. It is simply something that we choose to believe. We can receive something in for ourselves that can be beneficial, that can set us free, or we can believe in something that is false, that keeps us trapped. It's up to us. Satan, being the deceiver and the god of this world, also means something very important when it comes to manifestation. If you want to get into the right mindset of manifesting, it's very important to think on this. If Satan is the god of this world and he is the deceiver, then you are being deceived about something. So now, considering this, what are you deceived about when it comes to this world and what this world actually is? What is reality itself? If he's the god of this world, what does that mean? The first Hermetic principle is all is mind. Everything is mental. So what this means is everything comes from the mind of something. You can say the mind of God. So what this means is everything comes from something else, a place we cannot see. So everything here, everything that is physical, is simply a deception, not because it's not real, because this experience is very real to all of us. It just comes from somewhere else. And this somewhere else is the world of mentality. And you probably heard things like when you manifest, you have to keep imagining the same thing over and over until it becomes a reality. Here, this is because it's coming from the higher realm of mentality. Everything comes from mind and then trickles down into physical reality. This is the way it works. And this is explained in the Bible as well. Because in Genesis, it's explained how God created the world. Now, God is a spirit. So this, by definition, means that spirit is what creates reality, physical reality. Physical reality does not create consciousness. Consciousness existed before physical reality. So consciousness is the only reality. It is very interesting to think about because we think about it in reverse. We must change the world in order to do something, and this can work to a certain extent. But when it comes to changing the world, you shouldn't do that unless you change yourself. There is nothing to change except yourself. If you want a complete radical change, you must change yourself first. The Wizard of Oz is a story of finding the truth and finding things through a journey or an experience, going through life and discovering that what you had or what you wanted has always been inside of you. All the traits you're looking for is within you. This movie is full of symbolism, so I won't go too in depth with it. I'll just cover the main aspects. The story starts off with Dorothy on a farm. She gets caught up in a tornado and she ends up in another world. Now, in this world, the house crushes the Wicked Witch of the East. It's very important that this witch is from the East because she directly contrasts the main antagonist, which is the Wicked Witch of the West. And the one witch that helps her is the witch from the North. The witch from the North guides her, and Dorothy pulls some red slippers from the Witch of the East. They are ruby red slippers. Now, dissecting what this means, The witch from the east is the right side of your brain, because when you look at the body as a whole standing up, north and south is going up and down. So north would be the top of your head, while south is right at the bottom by your feet. West is the left part of your brain, and east is the right side of your brain. And the right side is where the feminine part of the brain is, or the emotional side, the abstract part. This is the realm of emotions, which is why it's associated with the ruby red slippers. Red being the color of emotion, love, passion, and all of these things. But Dorothy is led on a path to follow the yellow brick road. And so she has to follow this so that the Wizard of Oz can grant her her wish, which is to go home. She meets a straw man, a tin man, and a lion. So they follow this yellow brick road to the Emerald City. So when they reach the Emerald City, they actually discover that the Wizard of Oz is actually just a man behind a curtain. So the truth is, there was never any power to the Wizard of Oz in the first place. It was just the idea of it. So the truth is, it is just a regular man. And the main truths are that all the characters in the story actually got what they were wishing for at the end. They all got it through their journey. And Dorothy could have gone home from the beginning just by clicking her heels. Now, essentially what this movie is saying is, the Witch of the East is the emotional part of the brain. It is the right side of the brain, which is characterized by the ruby red slippers. Now, the Wicked Witch of the West is your left side of the brain, which always tries to stop you, or stop the emotional side from working, the imaginative side. This part of you that's very important for manifestation, important for different things in life. Your left part of your brain is very logical, very reasoning, and it can stop you from engaging in things like meditation or prayer or abstract thinking. Your left brain will always try to confuse you in thinking that physical reality is more real than your imaginative nature. The mental faculty you have will always be lesser than your logical side, what you can physically experience. But again, all is mental, so we actually think in reverse. And as long as our left part of our brain is fooling us into thinking that this is more real than our mental faculty or the realm of spirit or imagination, then we'll always be stuck. And this is what the Wicked Witch of the West is always trying to stop. It's trying to stop you from reaching the truth or understanding that all is mental. There is also a very obscure line in this movie as well. When the Wizard of Oz comes out, he tells Dorothy, "You and I will return to the land of E pluribus unum." Now, this can be interpreted as just going back to America, because that's generally how it's interpreted. They're just going back to Kansas, and then the Wizard of Oz is going to whatever state he belongs to. The land of E pluribus unum. But E pluribus unum means out of many, one. So it's just explaining how they're going back into the oneness, back into the one consciousness. And when you are one within yourself, then you merge all of the aspects you have within yourself into something good. Since Dorothy discovered the truth of the Wizard of Oz, there is no need to hide anymore. There's no need to lie anymore. And this implies oneness. This implies honesty. So it all goes back to the oneness. This phrase is also on the back of the $1 bill. And it's not a coincidence that it's on the back of the $1 bill. This is usually having to do with the 13 colonies and things of this nature. However, it is also telling you a secret. Because next to this symbol of the seal of America is the all-seeing eye. Right here you'll see an eye and a pyramid. Now the secret is they're trying to tell you that all is mental. Everything comes from imagination, this abstract realm. And it trickles down into physical reality. This is something the founding fathers knew, and this is just a secret they put in the $1 bill. So understanding this, sin can always be likened unto missing the mark, missing what you want for your life. It is simply not moving forward with what you want to do. In the Bible, it also says, a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And simply put, this is wanting to move forward, but either being afraid or not realizing how to move forward in the first place. But most of the time, we are double-minded or halted in our path just because we believe in something we should not. We believe in a false idea that is keeping us trapped. We're missing the mark, falling away from the truth that we can reach in our life. So if we want to atone, what that simply means is to be at one. If a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, atonement means to be of one mind. And if we look at this word atonement, it is telling you there. All we got to do is dissect the word. At one meant. This simply means at one, and then meant means mind. Being of one mind will always get you there. And that is finding the truth, being honest with yourself, and being one with yourself. And one implies there is an agreement. There is a oneness within yourself where you just move forward and you accept the truth for what it is. So there is nothing to change in this world. The only thing to change is yourself and your concept of what you believe should be real or what is real, or what is true and what is false. All truths are half-truths. Pick the one you want for yourself that makes you feel free, and this is the truth for you. And this is how you gauge this. You cannot be shown truth all at once, because truth is ever evolving. There is a truth and then another truth and then another one. If God is unlimited, you cannot possibly know the full truth, and that's how it works. Even if you knew God a lot, you still don't know him fully because it's unlimited. So truth is revealed in increments, and you don't have to worry about finding out the whole truth. So remember this always when it comes to creating the life that you want, when it comes to manifesting, because you shouldn't try to change the world without changing yourself. As within, so without. So this means as you change yourself, your outside world changes with you. So remember that all is mind. Everything comes from your imagination, what you believe and what you think of the most, what you emotionally feel to be real for yourself. In order to use this, it's always important to consider that everything that exists comes from spirit or your mental faculty or your imagination. If you're struggling with the idea of waiting for your manifestation to become real, here is a Bible verse that will help you to understand on the waiting process and how things work. In John chapter 14 and verse 3, it says, "And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may also be." Now, what it's saying here is very interesting when it comes to manifestation. It's saying that when you prepare for something, or in other words, imagine something, before it happens, you prepare. That is real in the mental realm. So this is you preparing a place for yourself. That is the savior of your specific situation. That is Jesus Christ, so to speak, taking you out of the current situation you are in. So Jesus prepares a place for you, or you have done this in your imagination. You have imagined something to be real for yourself. You have meditated on it. You have done all the steps. So now you have set that place. You have prepared a place for yourself. And you are dwelling there. So you are dwelling there. That is the place that you are waiting for yourself to receive in the physical reality. That's how this verse is deciphered metaphysically. Where I am, there ye may be also. So your imagination will always be there first. Your mental image will always be there first. And then your 3D, this physical reality, will always catch up afterwards. But if you keep that idea alive, then you will reach it no matter what. There is nothing that can get in the way of that from being a reality. So always hold on to these truths. Everything is mental. Everything comes from mind. And this will set you free from no matter what situation you are facing in your life. If you live your life completely relying on physical things and doing things in the realm of what is physically possible, then you can possibly be stuck. But you have this amazing mental faculty to use at any time to get you out of any situation you want. And it's important that we all use it, to use this faith aspect that we all have. You can be stuck physically. You can be stuck with no other way out. But that's not how your imagination works, and that's not how faith works. The truth shall always set you free. So use what you have. Use your imagination and use your mental faculty to escape or to get that thing you want for yourself. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer any comments that you guys have to the best of my ability. Like this video and subscribe so you can get more content like this. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.